welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. We're talking about NXT from January the 30th, 2023. We're going to do Vengeance Day predictions as well as the rest of NXT. So, let's get right into it. Trick Mello Gang defeat the LWO in the semifinals of the Dusty Cup. After the match, Obafemi randomly attacked the LWO and beat him up. Dragon Lee joined the fight to help the LWO, and he ended up beating them up too. He ended up beating up everybody. I love that. That rules. I don't know why he attacked the LWO though. Is there something I'm missing? I know he was watching them because, Dragon Lee was hanging out with him, but I don't know what other reason it could be for him to attack those guys. Seems very weird. All right, so Trick and Mello was throughout this thing. Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes were very excited about the Dusty Cup. They touched on Trick Williams showing up on SmackDown and Carmelo Hayes going to the Royal Rumble, but saying that they need to focus on the Dusty Cup. And Mello kept saying that Ilya Dragunov is playing mind games with Trick Williams. So Trick Williams says he's going to see tonight if Ilya is playing mind games. And Mello says, hey, you need to keep an eye on him because we on first and goal, man, when it comes to these Dusty Cups. We can win. And he really wants to win the Dusty Cup. So later on, Trick Williams does meet Ilya Dragunov in the ring, and they stand and they have a bit of a confrontation. I'm going to shorten this thing up. It started with Ilya trying to shake Trick Williams' hand, and Trick Williams saying, no, not this time. Then suggesting that Ilya Dragunov has been up to no good, that he pushed this match back under the hopes that Trick Williams would be double booked for the Dusty Cup. And Ilya Dragunov says, you're a victim of your own success. I didn't foresee you guys getting into the finals of the Dusty Cup. I didn't tell you to accept that match either. But if you show any weakness, I'm going to destroy you and everything that you built. So Trick Williams says that nobody can destroy what he's built. And he's coming for what's his, and that the NXT Championship is his destiny. And Ilya Dragunov said that the rivalry between the two of them made Trick Williams who he is today, made him more than his friendship with Mello ever did. Trick Williams got upset about this, that it's not about Mello. He shouldn't bring Mello up, into which Ilya says, you're right. It's not about Mello. It's about you. So I like this. This was pretty good. Ilya Dragunov is saying this thing is about you. You've been built up. You're poised. You're ready. And you put yourself in this position by trying to both be friends with Mello and be a contender for the championship. You did this to yourself when it comes to having to wrestle twice on one night. And Trick Williams being sort of confused by saying, he's kind of right. Like if he'd have let go of Carmelo Hayes and he wouldn't be on a tag team right now, he could focus 100% on his championship match. And he actually got offended when Ilya Dragunov said he should focus on his championship match. So this time they did shake hands at the end. Ilya then pulled Trick Williams close to him and embraced him, and it seemed like he had whispered something to Trick Williams because his facial expression changed a little bit, and Dragunov started to smile. Afterwards, Carmelo Hayes actually attacked Ilya Dragunov from behind. This led to... No, I'm sorry, it wasn't Carmelo Hayes. It was Baron Corbin and Brian Breaker who attacked Ilya Dragunov from behind. They also attacked Trick Williams, which led to Carmelo Hayes coming out there. Carmelo Hayes and the rest of the babyfaces fight off Baron Corbin and Brian Breaker. And they stand as they're poised to fight. And Ilya Dragunov is staring at the back of Carmelo Hayes like he's going to do something. Like he's going to attack him from behind. And Trick Williams just stands in the way. He just positions himself between Mello and Ilya. And that's a good visual representation of what's happening here. This is, Trick Williams being used as a pawn in the furtherance of the feud between Mello and Ilya. Because that's where it started. It started with these two guys feuding. There was the upper echelon of the NXT locker room. And then Trick Williams challenged Ilya Dragunov as part of that feud. And, was defeated. Now he has to, position himself as being the top guy, but he's also still being very protective of Mello. I really like the visual there. The promo segment was probably a little too long, but I liked it. All in all, I'm ready for them to throw down at Vengeance Day. All right, so Ava Raine is talking to Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland wants to fight all 3 members of Gallus. Ava Raine will not let him. So Lexis King brings Ava Raine a gift basket full of pictures of himself and candy, and says that for Ridge Holland, it's not the time. He and Ava have something to talk about. And Ava ended up making a match between the 2 of them, which Lexis King actually won. Lexis King defeated Ridge Holland due to a distraction from Gallus, who jumped Ridge Holland outside the ring, and then they jumped him also after the match. And they smashed Ridge Holland's knee with a chair. It was a particularly brutal affair. Not as brutal as probably could be. But I'm wondering where they're going with this Ridge Holland fighting all of Gallus thing, because the entire idea here is that Ridge Holland is wanting to do things on his own. Are you kind of angling to put him back in a stable? I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Tatum Paxley says she was going to fight all of Lyra Valkyria's battles for her so she can be the champion forever. Lyra Valkyria doesn't want that, wants to fight her own battles. And then we find out that Tatum Paxley is a different kind of stalker. She's leaving all kinds of text messages and phone calls and everything, and she's got a shrine of Lyra Valkyria in the women's locker room, apparently. It's like a... and she talks to the pictures? Super creepy. Tatum Paxley then challenged Roxanne Perez for tonight so that she could handle Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyria could have the night off when it comes to Vengeance Day. Unfortunately, she lost that match. Tatum Paxley and Roxanne Perez continued to fight afterwards, which led to Lyra Valkyria pulling Roxanne Perez off of Tatum Paxley, and the 2 of them stared at each other intently. I don't know. I probably would not have had Roxanne Perez wrestle a match on this show. And plus, I probably would not have beaten Tatum Paxley here. I think I get that, Tatum Paxley is an underneath talent, but why not make her a dangerous stalker? That, she actually does try to take Roxanne Perez out. Like, she hits her in the knee with a chair or something like that, gets disqualified. Because it's not about winning and losing. The entire idea is that she's trying to protect Lyra Valkyria. So, and of course, since Roxanne Perez is going to lose, that's just one of my predictions, you probably should give her an out. Have Tatum Paxley hit her in the knee with a chair, and then when the match comes, Roxanne could fight valiantly and fail, and then she'll have a complaint that Tatum Paxley had interfered. Okay. Ariana Grace, she's backstage trying to help Ren Sinclair because she is being inspirational. She starts making fun of the smell of the room and how Ren Sinclair talks, not knowing that Fallon Henley is the one that she's really talking about because she's not paying attention. She's like putting on eye makeup or something like that. Fallon Henley said something derogatory to Ariana Grace, and then Ariana Grace says, "You are disrespectful, you are presumptuous." And then says, "I'm gonna," and Fallon Henley looked at her and she's like, "I'm going to show some restraint." So Fallon Henley wanted to have the match and ended up going to Ava to have the match made. Fallon Henley then befriends Ren Sinclair and is going to be, I guess, I don't know what to call her. I don't want to say the mentor. That's probably not the right word. Guide? I don't know. Anyway, Fallon Henley was backstage working out, trying to warm up when Brooks Jensen showed up, and he's reminiscing about the good old days and them being the NXT UK Tag Team Champions, and Fallon Henley is kind of disinterested, but is listening. And then she says, "Oh, well, I got a match. I got to go." And so she tells Ren Sinclair to come with her. So what you get out of this is that Fallon Henley is focused on something else. She's got a new friend, while Brooks Jensen is stuck in the past. He's reliving the good old days where everybody, the 3 of them, were working together. And Fallon Henley is like, "Nah, I'm not going to go down memory lane with you. I am going to go focus on my career." And she loses. She loses to Ariana Grace. Lash Legend ended up knocking out Fallon Henley after Jakara Jackson distracted the referee. And Ariana Grace just picked up the win. Okay, Ariana Grace winning. I like that. I like that she didn't win clean. I don't even know what her finisher is, which makes it even better. I love me some Ariana Grace. Fallon Henley is okay. I don't understand why she's in this position after she just beat Tiffany Stratton. I'm thinking more highly of Tiffany Stratton than the company is. But I feel like if you pinned her and had her as your servant, you probably should win matches, more matches than you should be in the title picture at least, right? But not Fallon Henley. She's super mid card. She win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Speaking of win one, lose one, Lola Vice, she defeated Elektra Lopez. If you blinked, you missed it. This match was very, very short. No doubt it was just to get Elektra Lopez off the brand. She's also still not very good. If you saw Elektra Lopez in this match, she was still not very good. She was as bad as ever, if we're being honest. It's very unfortunate. I don't think she's getting it. She's beautiful. She's just drop dead gorgeous. But physically, I don't think she's made for wrestling. You know, I think that if you keep her matches short, or you just let her do little things, much like China, where if you do let her, throw a punch or a kick or something like that, a well placed one, yeah, she could be effective as a muscle, and because she's beautiful, she'd be a great valet, a great voice. But as a worker, oh my God, she's so awkward. She's very, very awkward. All right, Dijak and Joe Gacy, they meet under the hot lights because Dijak is a police officer. If you hadn't noticed, he's even got a nightstick. Joe, I'm about to call himself John. Joe Gacy is a man of says that Dijak is a man of justice, but he can't get rid of him. He's a cockroach. So this is the second guy in WWE they've given the cockroach gimmick to. They gave a guy that in NXT UK. I'm the cockroach. You never get rid of me. Ugh. So they started to fight, and they fought throughout everything in this situation. They fought everywhere, all around the building. And eventually they ended up on top of some production trucks, and where Dijak knocked Joe Gacy off the top of the production trucks into the garbage, like into the trash, right where he belongs. He sent him home. Dijak then went to Ava and wanted a no disqualification match. Ava was upset, wanted to suspend Dijak for throwing Gacy off of that roof, or at least off of that truck. But it turns out Gacy's okay, and Gacy wants the no disqualification match. So Joe Gacy's gimmick is, you're going to hit me with some stuff, you're going to put me through a wall or whatever, and I'm just going to get back up. That my gimmick is that I'm indestructible. That's a good gimmick if you can get it. That's a great gimmick if you can get it. I'm not interested in Dijak at all, and Joe Gacy is not nearly as interesting as he used to be, so I'm very upset about this. Andre Chase prepares to say goodbye to Chase University forever. He has a ceremony in order to say goodbye to Andre Chase University. Andre Chase blames himself for what happened, but says that he wants people to remember the school positively. Duke Hudson said it was the greatest day of his life when Andre Chase made him the MVP at Chase University, and he thinks that everything should be remembered in a good light. So he bullied, slashed, recruited some students into doing a tribute video for Chase University. And the theme song was Tell Me a Lie, the same song they used for Shawn Michaels when he had to retire. I love that song. Okay. Huge, monstrous pop, Road Warrior pop out of me for that song, okay? Huge pop. After they do that, they're ready to say goodbye officially to Chase University when JC Jane shows up. Says that when she got there, she was a little bit toxic, but she came searching for friends, and Chase University inspired her and thought maybe she could change. So then she said she's fiercely loyal to what matters to her. And what matters is Chase University. So she found a solution that they will not be saying goodbye to Chase U. In fact, not only will they be making money and clearing the debt, but they're going to actually turn a profit. And they're going to do that by doing a Ladies of Chase U calendar, which apparently will be on sale during Vengeance Day. Interesting. The calendar idea. I've heard that calendars of e-girl calendars do very well. I don't know. I know that it was recently a thing on social media that people was very upset that there was some online personalities doing a calendar. I know that people like Chelsea Green have done calendars. I think Lacey Evans is doing a calendar. I know that it becomes a thing for women who like to, strip naked on the internet, or at least show bikinis on the internet. Now, they showed a couple of the pictures on the Trines. They looked very tame. There wasn't like Girls Gone Wild or anything like that. It was very tame. So I'm guessing I wonder if these things are going to be real. Like, are they going to do real calendars, or are these going to be like gimmick calendars? Because I legit want to know. I legit want to know. But the calendar idea is not quite what I thought it was going to be. I thought JC Jane was going to run a brothel or something, or they were going to do a wet t-shirt contest. But how much money did Chase owe that a calendar can cover it? And how much is this goddamn calendar? There's just so much information I need to know. Backstage, JC Jane is very, very excited. She wants to party with the rest of Chase U. When Lexus King shows up, and he's been, of course, a greaseball. He wants a signed calendar. I don't know who's supposed to sign it, because there's multiple girls in it. So, like, which girl is going to sign it? So, in any event, JC Jane called him gross. And then Riley Osborne, the small English guy, he got into Lexus King's face. Lexus King said, whoa, 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 whoa. Nobody likes you, small fry. I don't want anything to do with you. Then he turns around and walks away. Then Thea Hale tried to make Riley feel good while saying and admitting that she liked him. Oh, that was so sweet. It was such a sweet moment. It was interrupted by Dijak and Joe Gacy fighting, but it was a sweet moment. A little one. A little sweet moment. Look, everybody knew that Chase U was gonna get saved. I don't know if I like the calendar idea. Maybe it should have been something bigger. Maybe they should have been like JC Jane sold, or they sold Chase U to somebody. They sold it to Kiana James. Wouldn't that have been dope if Kiana James had bought Chase University, and Chase had to work for her? You could have did some really fun stuff with that. That would have been my idea, personally. It would have been that Kiana James bought Chase University. She's going to pay the debt, and they all have to work for her. That would have been great. She could have, threatened to fire Chase U every week, Andre Chase every week. She could have replaced him with somebody else on the roster who was also doing a teacher gimmick like Drew Gulak. It could have been fun. You really could have had a fun thing if you would have had somebody buy Chase University, and then maybe JC Jane is the one who facilitated the sale. That could really be fun. But they did this, the calendar idea. I don't know. Tony D'Angelo. They're talking up Rizzo for like the fourth week in a row. They've been putting Rizzo over hard. They said the two things that they care about, two things they take serious: business and family. If you want respect, you got to take it. And the Riz has a reputation. She's ruthless. She's wise. She's battle tested. And they talk about all these things that she used to do in the past, like beating up people in 8th grade and all this other nonsense. Then we get a video package for OTM with Jada Parker, who is, my goodness. Oof. She is heel Bianca Belair. Like, she's got the same attitude, the same language, the whole 9 yards. I mean, you don't need to turn Bianca heel. Just use Jada Parker, for Christ's sake. She says that people have always been trying to put her in a box because they're intimidated by her potential, which is an absolute Bianca Belair line. And she says she looks different, she walks different, she hits different, but people don't like different. Then say that OTM is going to shake up NXT. They all came from nothing, but it's time for NXT and everybody else to play by their rules. Okay. I like Jada Parker. I don't know if I like the rest of OTM, but I like Jada Parker. My goodness, she can't do nothing wrong. All right, she can't do nothing wrong. All right, nothing. Anyway, Baron Corbin is very excited for Braun Breaker eliminating Finn Balor and spearing Jey Uso at the Royal Rumble, and says that they need to focus on being the Wolf Dogs. To which Braun Breaker is like, "Oh, you like the Wolf Dogs name? Nah, huh? You made fun of it last week. Now you think it's kind of hot." Anyway, they're best friends now. They're best good buds. I forgot to talk about that earlier. Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, they're becoming buddies. Also, Shawn Michaels says that Braun Breaker probably not leaving NXT anytime soon. Even though, they're doing this thing where I guess on SmackDown he's going to show up. they're saying that Braun Breaker has a lot more to do in NXT, so he's probably not going to be called up anytime soon. They also don't need to call him up anytime soon. The roster is pretty deep right now. NXT needs the talent. They need to keep as many people in there as possible. So that's why I'm not in a rush to pull Tiffany Stratton or anyone else out of NXT. Let them develop there. Let them stay there, get them some more title runs, and let them have some more fun, work with some more talent. Just tone down some of their performances. Like, they don't need to go out there and tear up their ACLs or whatever for NXT. But again, and who knows, in 2 or 3 years with guys like Randy Orton and AJ Styles and LA Knight, all these guys who are 30, 40 years old, late 30s, early 40s, and they get out of here, then these guys will be ready to fill those spots. Okay. Von Wagner lost to Noam Dar, the Heritage Cup match. Oh my God, I hated this so much. I was so bored. I am super bored with the Heritage Cup. I just don't get it. I just don't like it. Sorry to say. I hate to break it to you guys. I know Sean likes it for some reason. Sean, stop liking the Heritage Cup. There's nothing good about it. Okay, that was NXT. It was an okay show. I couldn't really get into any of the matches. A lot of women's matches on this show. I really wish they would have sold Vengeance Day harder. Like there's kind of a soft sell for most of the show. And then they shoehorned Dijak and Gacy onto the show, for Christ's sake. So let's start right there. Dijak versus Joe Gacy. No disqualification match. I don't care who wins. Can they both lose? Can they? I mean, I would pay money for Joe Gacy to tie Dijak to the railroad tracks, and then as soon as an Amtrak run him over, Joe Gacy chases it down, lays down right in front of it, and they ran over both of them. I don't care who wins. Match 5. The Family, Tony D'Angelo, Channing Stacks, Lorenzo, and Adriana Rizzo versus OTM, Lucien Price, Bronco Nima, and Jada Parker with Scripps. So Scripps is going to be on the outside of the ring. I'm going to go with, I want to say, D'Angelo family, but something tells me that OTM is probably going to continue this feud. So I'm going to go with OTM winning. I don't know who on the family could take the loss. I wouldn't beat Rizzo because they're really doing so much, putting so much into building her up. But I don't really want to beat Jada Parker either. So I'm guessing the guys have to take the pin. And of the guys taking the pin, I guess you could beat Stacks. But Stacks is tremendous. He's a good wrestler. Maybe, I don't know, Bronco Nima? He's a monster. And so is Lucien Price. I don't know. But I'm going to go with the family winning. Even though probably OTM probably should win. I think to make them seem like legitimate challengers for the belts, OTM probably should win. They already lost to the Tony D'Angelo family. So maybe having Jada Parker join them will be the missing piece. Okay. Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. I don't think there's any circumstance in which Roxanne Perez walks out of this event with the title. I just don't see it. I think Tatum Paxley is going to get involved, and she's probably going to cost Roxanne the title. But I don't see any way for Roxanne to walk out with the belt, and she shouldn't. Lyra Valkyria has no business losing to Roxanne Perez. And I don't mean I dislike Roxanne Perez. It's just that I don't think she should be the women's champion right now. I think that she's still on her upward trajectory as a heel. Let's solidify her as a heel first. Once she turns fully heel, then we can start talking about maybe putting the belt back on her. All right, Dusty Cup Finals, Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker versus Trick Mello Gang. I'm thinking Trick Williams is going to win both of these matches. That's what I'm thinking. And maybe that's just me being a mark. Because clearly it could work for him to lose one of these matches and win the other. I can see Carmelo Hayes costing him the NXT championship. I can see that. And that would be a great way to end the show. But I don't like that for Trick. I think that you have to give him the big payoff. I think he has to win the main belt, right? So I'm going to go with them maybe losing the Dusty Cup and Trick being taking the blame for it. Maybe even taking the pin. And then in the main event, he actually beats Ilya Dragunov. Maybe you give him a short celebration where he there's pomp and circumstance and confetti and all that. And then you do what Kevin Owens did to Sami Zayn, and you have Carmelo Hayes like ram his head into a Tron or something like that, and he ruins his big moment, and he makes it all about him. That could be really good. You could sour that moment. You could really ruin that moment. That would get a lot of heat. I think that we have kind of shied away from that in wrestling these days. It's trying to shy away from big heat and shying away from moments being ruined. I think that you could do that. I don't know what you do with Dragunov after he loses the belt, though. Like, that becomes the issue, is what do you do with Dragunov if he's not the champion? Certainly you don't put him on the shelf, do you? Make him a healthy scratch like Tiffany Stratton, do you? He doesn't end up in the same situation Braun Breaker is in, does he? So, but the issue is, if you have him beat Trick Williams, who takes the belt off of Dragunov then? That's going to be the question. So my guess is it's probably safer to transition the title over to Trick, so that Trick and Melo can feud for the belt, and they could be the Stand and Deliver main event, which I'm guessing Stand and Deliver is the WrestleMania of NXT. I don't understand why Stand and Deliver is here, but I'm thinking that's their new brand. They're not doing takeovers anymore, so. All right, I'm going to go with Trick Williams defeating Ilya Dragunov for the championship, and the heel turn maybe being that Tuesday, even though it probably should be the same night. So that's only one match left on the show. Obafemi versus Dragon Lee for the NXT North American Championship. Of course, Obafemi is going to win. He better win. He better not lose to Dragon Lee. I love me some Dragon Lee, but Obafemi, he's the man right now. So you keep it going. I mean, I don't know whether Dragon Lee is on SmackDown or whether he's still in NXT. I have no idea. Same thing with Carmelo Hayes. I guess they're going to do the same thing with Braun Breaker. They're just going to have these guys coming and going and working shots here and there. I wish we could get Grayson Waller and Austin Theory back in NXT if they're not going to do anything on SmackDown. Especially when NXT's getting ready to go to CW soon. Let's get those young guys back down there. Those are, I know Grayson Waller's not exactly young. He's like in his early 30s. But whatever. Whatever. Austin Theory can go for another run in NXT. He didn't win the NXT championship. So give him another run as he is in NXT. I don't see what's wrong with that. You gave Dominic Mysterio a run down there. Put Austin Theory down there for a couple of months. There's probably some more. Cedric Alexander, put him back in NXT. I got ideas, guys. Help me out. Anyway, Vengeance Day should be a good show. Oh my goodness. I made nachos for the Royal Rumble, and I almost killed myself. I gorged. I don't know what I'm going to make for Vengeance Day, but I'm open to suggestions. I kind of want some chili, but it's going to be a Sunday night, and I don't really want a heartburn for the rest of the week. But maybe that could work. Maybe chili could work. Or maybe I can make a chicken pot pie. Not actually in the pie, but like soup, bread kind of thing. Maybe. What do you guys think? What do you guys be having for Vengeance Day? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys later.
MagMongoSlade. Best house I ever drew, Daddy.